Hey there, it's Katie Joy, the Global Butterfly, founder of theglobalbutterfly.com and the Awaken with Love and Rise with Pure Joy podcast. So today's episode is going to be done a little differently. I'm not going to be visible on the screen. I'm going to be sharing my GGA Method model and you'll hear me in the audio. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure that you click the link below the description in the description box to take you to YouTube so you can see the graphic for the model. There's also a blog article available that's associated with this, and that's in the link below too. Enjoy. Have you got big dreams, but you find that your energy is up and down? Maybe you feel inspired sometimes, and other times you feel like, well, you procrastinate. And maybe you know why, and sometimes you don't know why, or maybe you think you know why, but really don't connect yet with the reasons underneath the hood, so to speak, what's in the invisible realm. So I want to share with you my GGA method. It's gratitude, gains, and appreciation. And this is the backbone, the framework of everything that I teach with my clients. And the reason why is because it will absolutely affect your energy, your state of being, and the frequency in which you operate from, whether you operate from a state of fear frequency when not using it and inconsistent, or when you're using it to tap into a higher level of perception and awareness, you will actually raise your frequency, and operating from a state of love and experiencing far more fulfilling results and better results for yourself as well. So I'll explain what the GGA method is in a moment, but I just want to let you know that here's 4 good reasons why to use it. 1, to elevate your mood so you can set yourself on a path to personal and professional success. 2, so that you can understand how to create lasting change that will help you achieve your goals. 3, you can also maintain consistency with overcoming negativity and staying motivated, or even better, inspired, which means in spirit. Which brings you to number 4, because then you can channel more of your creativity towards manifesting your dreams and your goals. And discovering this connection between gratitude, positive energy, and creativity flow through gratitude, gains, and appreciation is where I'm going to take you next. Now, just who's the GGA for? Well, I can say everybody, and the reality is it really is valuable for everybody because it's going to help you have a much better experience of your life, no matter what age you are or what your goals are, whether you're a professional in work, a student, or in your own business. But specifically, entrepreneurs and professionals, it will enhance your well-being and productivity, because when you are going for big goals and building something that is your empire, whether it's a small city empire or a big one, you are going to be stretched, and that's going to affect your energy. And I'll explain a bit of that in a moment. Then you also could be caregivers and parents, to find balance and appreciation in daily life, especially when it can feel like you're going round and round that wheel, like a rat on a wheel, doing the same things over and over and giving to others the best of yourself, often at the cost of your own experience. So definitely caregivers and parents could benefit from this too, and personal growth seekers who want to transform their mindset and cultivate positivity so that you can feel better in everything you're doing. And the reality is everything is driven by emotion. So when you feel better, you be better and you'll do better and you'll manifest better results. So just quickly with the GGA method, a little bit of background on me. If you've never met me before, or if maybe you have and you didn't know, I've got over 20 years of experience in holistic wellness and transformational coaching. I'm founder of theglobalbutterfly.com, offering a unique blend of spiritual and practical guidance. I also have an extensive background in psychology, chiropractic care, and critical care paramedicine. I was a paramedic for the West Australian Ambulance Service, working for them for over 8 years. And I've also been very much involved with a lot of healing and coaching modalities since I retired at the age of 32, financially free from investing in properties. So I've got a business and an investment background as well. And I also have developed the GGA method Really, truly, from my own personal experience, because while I have been quite the goal-getter, I've also faced so many challenges personally and professionally. And so what I found was my focus on what I was appreciating, and those little small wins every single day compounded to the great wins. And what am I grateful for? So, for example, I had a lot of challenges in the time of being a paramedic with my personal life as well. Without going into the depths of that, let me just say it was a spiritual boot camp. But I would wake up knowing I had those challenges to face, but I also woke up each day realizing that when I was going to go to work, there were plenty of other people that day that weren't going to live. And from my perspective in that experience, I was thankful that I woke up. And so I began my day with gratitude, because I knew that some others weren't going to have that opportunity like I was to face the challenges to overcome. So I also had, prior to the paramedic, the origin of this kind of a bit of an origin story for me was when I was 21. I was studying psychology at University of Western Australia, and at that time I went through another personal challenge that involved a betrayal of a boyfriend and a best friend. So I'll leave it there, but I ended up sinking into a little bit of a dark period of time for quite a few months, where in between going to university for doing my classes, I would often spend a lot of time at home in bed eating chocolate and drinking wine. And one of the key things for my day that I used to feel any energy for was at 1 p.m. and it was Oprah show. And there was this incredible experience for this one particular episode, and where Oprah talked about writing down 5 things a day that she was grateful for. Now, at that time, I thought, this is it. This is going to be my pivot point. And it was. It was slow, but it became a pivot point. And it was the early foundation of my GGA method. So I started implementing 5 things a day. And sometimes I struggled to notice what I was grateful for, but I did it and I practiced it and I kept going. And as I kept going, I started to realize, okay, I'm just going to navigate through the small little gains, and instead of looking at the gap of how far I've got to go, I'm going to look at the little gains and compound those, and then stay in appreciating everything that I could in every little step. So gratitude, gains, appreciation was born. And I always thought, it'd be really wonderful one day to meet Oprah. This was many years ago. This is, we're talking 20 odd years ago when I first did this. And then when I left my career as a paramedic in 2008, I ended up going to the USA and living there for 2 years, but bouncing around back and forth between the USA and Australia for 4 years. In that first year of being there in 2008, I had the opportunity to go to Chicago, and I had it in my head that I was just going to rock up to the Harpo studios and meet Oprah, or at least see a show. But it was the July 4th weekend and it was closed. And in my naivety, I also came to the realization that you had to buy tickets well in advance to get to any of the shows. So I missed that opportunity of connecting with Oprah when I was so close. And then what happened is, fast forward to 2015, I ended up having an opportunity where I saw that Oprah was coming to Perth. And I swear I watched that first Facebook ad come out the second it did, because I went and bought 2 VIP tickets right there and then, and I was front row center at the very close, literally at her feet. And during that experience with the VIP, there was about 100 of us there, and 4 of us were chosen to ask a question, and I was one of them. And prior to asking my question, which I kind of forget now, I really took a moment to share my gratitude about that episode that she shared many years ago, because it really did take me out of a very dark place, and it began the journey of my very long awakening. Anyway, it was so impressed upon Oprah that during the normal show, she actually mentioned my name and mentioned my story with the whole audience in the arena. So that's a pretty bit of a fun moment and a full circle moment for the gratitude. So to just give you the idea of the gratitude gains appreciation layout, I just wanted to just connect you with gratitude is the foundation of abundance. It's the highest frequency that you can operate from. So imagine if shame is the lowest frequency, and it's literally one breath away from death. And a lot of people do dip into living in shame, and it acts into avoidance. It's a lot of energy to be in that suppressed state. So energy to suppress those kind of emotions means you don't have the energy to go and manifest. And just if you would imagine that shame is at the bottom of the triangle or mountain, if you were at the bottom of a mountain, you're not going to have a very big perspective, an overall perspective. You're up very close. You probably have no perspective of what challenges lay ahead or what clearances are in the pathways and the best steps to go. I like to liken gratitude to being like in the helicopter hovering above that mountain with a 360-degree view. So you end up having a much broader, deeper, wider perspective. And so you're able to make better decisions from a place of gratitude. You have a very open heart and you're operating from a frequency of love, not fear, when you are living from gratitude. So your decisions that you make are going to be incredibly different than if you are operating from a place of fear, doubt, anger, regret, or even shame. So the next step in the gratitude gains appreciation method is focusing on gains. And this is the fuel for momentum, because what I find is that most of us, if we've been conditioned and programmed to be perfect, to, do better without noticing and celebrating even the smallest steps. And I also notice that in the entrepreneurial world or even the personal growth world with goals, with professional or in business, is quite often there's this, but I'm not there yet. And it's a dismissive, not an acknowledgement, it's dismissive to any progress made. So progress over perfection, and noticing all the gains, the micro wins along the way, because the truth is they compound and create significant results. And when you focus on the small wins, it builds up the kindle into the fire, and before you know it, you've got a bonfire going and you've got massive leaps and gains. The third part to the GGA method is appreciation. And this really keeps you in the moment, in the present moment, anchored to fulfillment. So it's less about what you're getting and more about who you're being and the quality of your experience in your moment to moment within your life and your business and your profession and whatever you've got now. It's enough. And you just appreciate it, because the truth is what you appreciate goes up in value, and what you don't appreciate is neglected and decays. And so when you appreciate what you have, including all the small stuff, then the quality of that experience expands and you are able to attract even more. So that's just a little bit of an overview of the GGA method that helps you on your path to purpose while fulfilling and manifesting goals that are soul aligned to you. It just makes life wonderful, so that you're not just pursuing in a hustle and grind process where you get to the top of the mountain going, is that it? Because that's such a common occurrence that I hear from people who are not in a constant state of gratitude. They're not focusing on the micro gains, and they're not appreciating every step of the way where the joy is in the journey. They delay that happiness to the end result. And when they get there, they're expecting a big ta-da! Now I feel good. And the reality is, if you flip that model around and you be grateful in the moment, you focus on those gains and you appreciate everything along the way, then the manifestation is a bonus result. It's the icing on the cake. So hopefully this was really valuable for you. I just really wanted to dip into this. I have an up-and-coming workshop that will be available to the public to join in as well. It goes much deeper into it, because I talk about the nervous system and why it matters with the GGA method, and how it literally has a chemical response on your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and how you can activate it like a switch so that you can actually harness and master your energy for better results. So stay tuned. If that is available, the link will be down below when it's available. And I just would love to hear back from you. You know, what are you grateful for? What are the gains that you've made in your own life that you can, that perhaps you probably didn't acknowledge before, but you could acknowledge now? Even today, you know, what's something you dial into the minute, because that's really valuable. The more that you check that, the more wins you have in a day, the more that you stack the evidence that you're in momentum and you feel inspired again in spirit. So you don't need external motivation to prompt you. You actually feel like you've got the energy to move forward and take that next step for yourself, and you'll appreciate it along the way. If this has been massively valuable for you, please let me know. Like, subscribe, share a comment down below, and definitely share this with a friend. And make sure that if you haven't yet got a copy of my free workbook, it's a 33-page workbook called Setting Your Intentions, Clarify Your Goals to Create Your Best Year Yet. It's definitely a winner, and we'll take you through that process. And another call to action here for you too is if you haven't got your copy of the Gratitude Gains Appreciation Journal, it's available on Amazon and you can just simply look it up. And there's also a copy available for teens and kids as well as the adults. Just to close it up, I want to share a couple of case studies that were little testimonials from people. One of them is Eugenie Verney. And she's a wonderful writer and editor in the UK. And she says, the Gratitude Gains Appreciation Journal really is a game changer. I've already been following Katie Joy's Gratitude Gains Appreciation formula for nearly a year before she published this journal, and can vouch for what a simple yet powerful tool GGA is for changing perspectives and achieving goals. It's truly a big shift. I know it's had big shifts for me and for my clients, and it's definitely a wonderful way to be able to move yourself into experiencing better results with the fulfillment connected to it. Another client of mine is Diana, and I'll share her full name, Diana Magalhaes. She is a luxury travel agent, and she began her journey as in the career in travel actually in 2020. Now, if you can add that up, it's probably the most difficult time to start. But it's the use of these tools, the GGA method, and a whole bunch of the other methods that I teach her in my framework, that she was able to harness and master her energy that made her an energetic light beacon for people to gravitate towards her in her industry, and also to build the relationships so that she had the momentum right out the gate as soon as the opportunity to travel again opened up. And since then, she has been presented with a lot of opportunities for overseas travel in Vietnam and Italy, and speaking and connecting with people in her industry. And she says, yes, definitely have felt a shift. By looking during one's day for the GGA moments, you have actually changed the focus one has throughout the day, that where situations previously may have triggered a negative reaction and festered in that moment, now it is an opportunity to recognize the trigger and look at it from a different perspective. What can I learn from this moment? These triggering moments, the intensity becomes less to non-existent. And because of this, I feel I'm in a cocoon of bliss of late, which people have really noticed and even commented with. Even my physical posture is more upright, confident, and happy. That's a pretty good result, don't you think? I know too that there's another client of mine, Martine Pronk. She's a gym instructor and yoga instructor. And she came to me a few years ago, and not really aspiring to be an entrepreneur, but her personal goals were more related to her relationship with her husband, now ex-partner, and because of the impact it was having on their daughter. And it wasn't a very fun relationship. In fact, the dynamic would symptomatically present itself like the narcissist and the empath. And her goal was to have the financial separation and just get the heck out of town. And I suggested with her, tuning into her energy and listening to her story, I just suggested to her, what if we could choose another pathway? What if you could create harmony? And at first, let's just say she didn't really believe me, but she was willing to apply the tools. And within just a few short weeks, the relationship dynamic within herself had changed, which had a positive effect on other people around her, including her ex-partner. And instead of being in conflict and aggravating each other, within a few short months, they were actually aligning and allies and working together in parenting, but also became really good friends. And because I've checked in recently, and quite a few times ever since, there is just this beautiful continuity of that relationship. So it's brought harmony. That's a really great result. So those are really good reasons why it's valuable to put your attention on the GGA appreciation. The GGA method, gratitude, gains, and appreciation. And by creating the journal as a tool, it just helps you to build that consistent habit so you can build up that prompt and connect with it and build up the habit so that you can move into continuous momentum with it. So it becomes installed as something that you be, and it's a natural thing that you do instead of gravitating to the negative story or the focusing on the gap or feeling like you don't have enough. Instead, you can flip all that with GGA every day. So remember to get yourself a copy of that on Amazon. I hope this was valuable for you. Have an amazing day. And from my heart to yours, until next episode, lots of love, light, manifesting miracles, magic and more. Katie Joy.